Rain fell on the streets of Seoul as Hanji tapped his white cane on the wet sidewalk. The 17-year-old boy had been blind since birth, but that never stopped him from living his life. Every day he walked the same path from Seoul International Orphanage to his school and back. His cane was his guide, his connection to the world he could not see. Ji had lived at the orphanage for as long as he could remember. The nurses told him his parents had left him there when he was just a baby. They never came back. But Ji did not let this make him sad. He chose to be happy instead. Life is too short to be upset about things you cannot change, he often said with a smile that made his whole face light up. The white cane in his hand was special. It was a gift from Mr. Park, the kind old man who started the orphanage. Before Mr. Park died 3 years ago, he had given Ji the cane. "This will help you find your way in the world," Mr. Park had told him. "Take good care of it and it will take good care of you." Ji did take good care of the cane. He cleaned it every night and kept it by his bed. The cane was more than just a tool to him. It was a friend. Ji's ears were very good. They had to be. Without sight, his hearing had grown strong. He could tell who was walking down the hall just by the sound of their steps. He could hear the smallest changes in someone's voice. This helped him know when people were happy, sad, or lying. At school, Ji was very smart. He got the best grades in most classes. He loved science the most. His teachers said he had a gift for understanding how things worked, even things he could not see. Ji worked hard because he wanted to go to college one day. He wanted to help make the world better. But not everyone was happy about Ji's success. Some students did not like that a blind boy could do better than them in school. A group of boys from Seoul Elite Academy, a rich school nearby, were the worst. They would laugh at Ji when they saw him. They would call him names. Ji tried to ignore them. He knew they were just being mean because they were jealous. On this rainy day, Ji was walking home from school. The rain made it harder to hear the sounds around him. The cane helped him feel the path ahead. Tap, tap, tap. Each touch of the cane told him what was in front of him. Ji was thinking about the science test he had taken that day. He was sure he had done well. The questions were hard, but he had studied a lot. He was so deep in thought that he did not hear the footsteps coming up behind him until it was too late. "Well, look who it is," said a loud voice. The blind genius, Ji knew that voice. It belonged to Daeho, the leader of the boys who always bothered him. Ji could tell from the sounds that Daeho was not alone. His friends Min and Tae were with him. "Hello, Daeho," Ji said, trying to sound calm. "I need to get home. It's raining hard." "We heard you aced the science test today," Daeho said. His voice was cold. "How does a blind kid do that? You must be cheating." "I don't cheat," Ji said. "I study hard, that's all." "Yeah, right," Tae laughed. "No one believes that." Ji tried to walk around them, but they moved to block his way. He could feel them standing close. The rain was falling harder now, soaking through his school uniform. "Please let me pass," Ji said. "I need to get home." "What's the rush?" Min asked. "Are you afraid of getting wet?" Ji tried again to walk past them, but Daeho pushed him. Not hard enough to make him fall, but enough to let Ji know he was in trouble. "That test was important," Daeho said. His voice was angry now. "My father said if I didn't get the highest score, he wouldn't buy me a new car for my birthday. And then I hear that you, a blind nobody with no parents, got the highest score." "I'm sorry," Ji said, though he wasn't sure why he was apologizing. "But that's not my fault." "Not your fault?" Daeho's voice got louder. "Everything was fine before you came to our school. You make us all look bad." Ji gripped his cane tighter. He wanted to run, but he knew he wouldn't get far. Not without being able to see where he was going. Not in the rain, not with the 3 boys around him. "That cane," Daeho said suddenly. "You're always tapping it everywhere." Tap, tap, tap. "It's so annoying." Ji felt a hand grab his cane. He tried to hold on, but Daeho yanked it away. "Give it back," Ji said. For the first time, there was fear in his voice. Without his cane, he was lost. "Please, it was a gift. It's important to me." "Important, huh?" Daeho said. "More important than my new car?" Ji heard a loud snap. The sound cut through the rain, through the noise of the city, straight to his heart. He knew what it was. The sound of his cane breaking. "Oops," Daeho laughed. "Looks like it wasn't very strong." "Why did you do that?" Ji asked. He could feel tears mixing with the rain on his face. "I never did anything to hurt you." "You exist," Daeho said. "That's enough." Ji heard more sounds. The pieces of his broken cane hitting the ground. Then a metallic clang. One of the boys had thrown part of the cane into a storm drain. "Good luck getting home now, Genius," Min said. The three boys laughed as they walked away, leaving G standing alone in the rain. He was lost. The world had suddenly become much smaller. Without his cane, all he had were his hands. He reached out, trying to find a wall, anything to guide him. His fingers touched the cold, wet surface of a building. Slowly, carefully, he began to move forward, one hand always on the wall. He knew the way home, but without his cane, every step was dangerous. He could fall. He could walk into the street. He could get completely lost. G's shoes were soaked. His uniform was heavy with rain. But worse than the rain, worse than the cold, was the feeling of being so alone. He had never felt so small, so helpless. He kept moving inch by inch. His free hand stretched out in front of him, trying to feel for any obstacles. Twice he tripped over things he couldn't detect. The first time he caught himself. The second time he fell to his knees on the hard sidewalk. The pain shot through his legs, but he got back up. He had to keep going. The orphanage wasn't far, maybe 15 minutes by foot when he had his cane. But now it could take hours. G tried to listen for familiar sounds that could guide him. The bakery near the orphanage always smelled like fresh bread. The old tree at the corner made a specific sound when the wind blew through its leaves. But the rain changed everything. It covered up the normal sounds of the city with its constant patter. "Excuse me," G called out, hoping someone would hear him. "Can anyone help me?" But his voice was lost in the storm. People hurried past, heads down against the rain, no one noticing the blind boy feeling his way along the wall. G thought about Mr. Park and what he would say in this moment. When you're in trouble, don't give up. Just take one more step and then one more after that. So G took another step, and another. His hand never left the wall. He counted the steps, trying to create a map in his mind. 200 steps from school to the first turn, then 150 to the next. How many had he taken so far? He had lost count. The rain was letting up a little, which helped. G could hear more of the city now. Cars driving by, people talking as they walked past. But none of the sounds were familiar enough to tell him exactly where he was. Time seemed to slow down. Minutes felt like hours. G's legs hurt from the fall. His arms were tired from being stretched out. But he kept going. One step, then another. Just get home, he told himself. Just get home and everything will be okay. But would it? His cane was gone. The cane Mr. Park had given him. The cane that had been his guide for years. How would he get a new one? How would he get to school tomorrow? How would he do anything? For the first time since he could remember, G felt hopeless. The world was too big, too loud, too chaotic for a blind boy without his cane. Maybe Daeho and his friends were right. Maybe he didn't belong at that school. Maybe he should just give up. No, G shook those thoughts away. He would not give up. He would find his way home. He would figure out what to do next. He would not let Daeho win. G had been walking for what felt like forever when he heard the sound of a car approaching. It was different from the other cars, quieter, smoother. The car slowed down next to him. G tensed, not knowing what to expect. Then the sound of a car door opening. "Excuse me," said a deep, kind voice. "It looks like you could use some help." G turned his head toward the voice. The rain had slowed to a light drizzle, but he was soaked to the bone and shivering. "Yes," G said, his voice shaking a little. "I lost my cane. I can't find my way home." "I can help you," the man said. His Korean was perfect, but there was something about the way he spoke. A slight accent G couldn't place. "My name is Mr. Kim. Would you like a ride?" G hesitated. The orphanage staff had always warned him not to accept rides from strangers. But he was lost, cold, and had no way to get home on his own. "I saw what happened," Mr. Kim said, as if reading G's thoughts. "Those boys took your cane. I was too far away to stop them, but I followed to see if you needed help." This made G feel better. If Mr. Kim had seen what happened, maybe he really did want to help. "Thank you," G said. "I'm trying to get to Seoul International Orphanage." "I know where that is," Mr. Kim said. "Please get in the car. You're getting soaked out here." G heard the car door open wider. He reached out and felt the smooth metal of the car. It was warm to the touch, which was strange for a rainy day. G carefully got into the car. The seat felt unusual too. Not like leather or cloth, but something else. Something he had never felt before. As the car door closed, G noticed how quiet it was inside. The rain and city noises almost completely disappeared. The car smelled different too. Not like gas or air freshener. It smelled clean with a hint of something metallic but pleasant. Are you comfortable? Mr. Kim asked. Yes, thank you, G said. He reached for a seatbelt and found it quickly. It clicked into place. The car started moving. G could barely feel it. There was no rumble of an engine, no vibration in the seat. It was like floating. My name is Hanji, he said, remembering his manners. It's nice to meet you, Hanji, Mr. Kim said, though I wish it were under better circumstances. Me too, G agreed. Thank you for helping me. You don't need to thank me, Mr. Kim said. I'm curious, though. Why did those boys take your cane? G sighed. They don't like that I get better grades than them. They think a blind person shouldn't be smart. That's very strange thinking, Mr. Kim said. He sounded genuinely puzzled. Why would your eyes have anything to do with your brain? G smiled a little. That's what I think too, but they don't see it that way. There was a pause, and then Mr. Kim asked, Does this happen often? People being cruel for no good reason? The question seemed odd to G. Everyone knew that bullies existed, but he answered honestly, yes, sometimes. Some people are kind and some are not. That's just how the world is. Interesting, Mr. Kim said. His voice was thoughtful. And yet you don't seem angry, G shrugged. Being angry won't get my cane back. It won't help me get home. It just makes me feel bad. That's very wise for someone so young, Mr. Kim said. How old are you, G? 17, G told him. And you live at the orphanage? No family? No family that wanted me, G said. He had accepted this long ago. The people at the orphanage are my family now. I see, Mr. Kim said. That must be difficult. Sometimes, G admitted. But everyone has problems. Mine aren't special. The car turned smoothly. G tried to keep track of the turns to make sure they were going the right way. Left, then right, then straight for a while, then left again. Yes, this was the way to the orphanage. You seem very calm about all of this, Mr. Kim said. Most people would be upset. I am upset, G said. The cane was a gift from someone important to me. But being upset won't solve anything. I need to think about what to do next. What will you do? G thought for a moment. I'll have to ask the orphanage if they can get me a new cane. It might take time. Until then, I'll need help getting to school. That sounds practical, Mr. Kim said. He sounded impressed. You're quite resourceful. When you're blind, you have to be, G said. Otherwise, life is very hard. The car slowed down, then stopped. G heard the soft patter of rain on the roof. We're here, Mr. Kim said. Seoul International Orphanage. G felt relief wash over him. He was home. He reached for the door handle. Wait, Mr. Kim said. Before you go, I have something for you. G paused, curious. What is it? I want to give you something to replace your cane, Mr. Kim said. If you'll accept it. Before G could answer, he felt something being placed in his hands. It was a long, thin object, like a cane, but different. It felt like metal, but it was warm to the touch, just like the car had been. It was lighter than his old cane, but it felt strong. What is this? G asked, running his fingers along the smooth surface. There were no buttons or markings that he could feel, just a perfectly smooth rod that seemed to hum very slightly in his hands. It's a special cane, Mr. Kim said. It will help you like your old one did. But this one is better. Better how? G asked. The object felt strange, almost alive in his hands. It will show you, Mr. Kim said. It activates tomorrow. Until then, keep it close to you. G was confused. A cane that activates? What did that mean? But the kindness of the stranger made him accept the gift with gratitude. Thank you, Mr. Kim, G said, clutching the strange cane. This is very kind of you. One more thing, Mr. Kim said. His voice was suddenly serious. Remember these 3 words. Humanity deserves better. Humanity deserves better, G repeated, not understanding but feeling like the words were important. What does that mean? You'll understand soon, Mr. Kim said. Now go inside. Get dry. Rest. The car door opened. G stepped out, the new cane in his hand. He heard the orphanage door not far away. He knew this place well enough to find the door without a cane. Thank you again, G said, turning back to the car. You're welcome, Hanji, Mr. Kim said. We will meet again. The car door closed and G heard the strange, quiet vehicle pull away. He stood there for a moment, the unusual cane in his hand, wondering about the strange man who had helped him. The cane felt warm in his grip, almost like it had its own heat. G tapped it on the ground experimentally. It made a different sound than his old cane, clearer, sharper, but it worked the same way, helping him feel what was ahead. G made his way to the orphanage door and went inside. Mrs. Song, the head caretaker, was in the front hall. "G!" she exclaimed. "You're soaking wet. What happened to you?" G told her about the bullies breaking his cane and how a kind man had given him a ride home. "You got into a stranger's car?" Mrs. Song sounded worried. "Gee, that's dangerous." "I know," G said. "But he saw what happened. He wanted to help." "Well, thank goodness you're safe," Mrs. Song said. "And he gave you a new cane?" "May I see it?" G handed her the strange metal cane. Mrs. Song was quiet for a moment as she examined it. "This is unusual," she said finally. "I've never seen a cane like this. It's not like the standard white canes." "He said it was special," G told her. "That it would activate tomorrow." "Activate?" Mrs. Song sounded confused. "What does that mean?" "I don't know," G admitted. But Mr. Kim seemed very sure about it. Mrs. Song handed the cane back to G. "Well, it looks expensive. Did you get this man's full name? We should thank him properly." "Just Mr. Kim," G said. "That's all he told me." "Well, go change into dry clothes," Mrs. Song said. "Dinner is in an hour. We can talk more about this, Mr. Kim, then." G nodded and made his way to his room, the strange cane tapping on the floor ahead of him. His room was small but neat. G knew where everything was. He didn't need sight to navigate this familiar space. After changing into dry clothes, G sat on his bed, holding the new cane in his hands. It still felt warm. The slight humming sensation had not stopped. It was as if the cane was waiting for something, waiting to activate, as Mr. Kim had said. "Humanity deserves better," G whispered, wondering what those words meant. Was it a message? A password? Or just something Mr. Kim believed? G placed the cane beside his bed, where his old cane had always rested. He thought about Daeho and the other bullies. He hoped they felt bad about what they had done, but he doubted it. People like that rarely felt sorry for their actions. At dinner, G told the other children and staff about what had happened. They were angry on his behalf, especially the other orphans. They knew how important the cane had been to G. "I'll help you get to school until you get used to the new cane," offered Subin, a 14-year-old girl who had become like a sister to G. "Thanks," G said with a smile. "But Mr. Kim said the cane would activate tomorrow. Maybe I won't need help." "Activate?" Subin asked. "What does that mean?" "It's just a cane, right?" "I guess we'll find out tomorrow," G said. That night, G lay in bed thinking about the strange encounter. Mr. Kim had been kind, but odd. His car had been unusual. And now this cane, which felt like no cane G had ever held before. What did it all mean? As G drifted off to sleep, the cane beside his bed hummed softly, almost like it was singing a lullaby. Just before sleep took him, G could have sworn he heard a voice whisper, "Preparing neural interface. Scanning complete. Ready for activation at dawn." But he was too tired to think about what that might mean. Tomorrow he would find out what kind of gift Mr. Kim had really given him. G woke up to a strange sound. A soft humming filled his room. At first he thought someone had left a radio on, but as he became more awake he realized the sound was coming from right beside his bed. The cane G sat up and reached for it. The metal rod was vibrating gently, the humming growing louder when his fingers touched it. The warmth he had felt yesterday was stronger now, almost like the cane was alive. "Hello?" G said, feeling silly for talking to a cane. To his shock, a voice answered. Not from the cane, but from inside his own head. "Hello, Hanji," the voice said. It was neither male nor female, but calm and friendly. "I am Arya, your adaptive resonance intelligence assistant. Neural interface complete. Beginning calibration." G nearly dropped the cane in surprise. "What? Who said that?" "I did," the voice replied. "I am Arya. I exist within the device you are holding, but I communicate directly with your auditory cortex." "Only you can hear me," G's heart raced. This couldn't be real. He must be dreaming. "You are not dreaming, Hanji," Arya said as if reading his thoughts. "The device you received is not a simple cane. It is advanced technology designed to help you." "Advanced technology?" G repeated, still not believing what was happening. "Like a computer?" "In simple terms, yes," Arya replied. "But much more advanced than the computers you know. I am adapting to your neural patterns now. This will allow me to create a sensory substitution system tailored to your brain. Sensory substitution? G asked, trying to understand. What does that mean? It means I can help you see in a different way, Arya explained. Not with your eyes, but through other senses. Primarily through sound waves. G sat on his bed holding the cane, no, the device, and tried to make sense of what was happening. Was this some kind of joke, a trick? But who would go to such trouble? And the voice in his head felt so real. This is not a trick, Hanji, Arya said. Please stand up and hold me as you would your regular cane. Calibration will continue as you move. Still doubting but curious, G got up and held the device like his old cane. The humming had changed to a soft pulsing. Good, Arya said. Now walk around your room. I am mapping your environment and your movement patterns. G did as instructed. As he walked, something strange began to happen. He started to sense the edges of things. Not see them exactly, but feel them in a way he never had before. The wall to his left, the desk to his right, the chair in the corner. They all created a kind of pressure in his mind, letting him know exactly where they were. What's happening? G asked, amazed. I am sending out high-frequency sound waves, Arya explained. These bounce off objects and return to the device. I translate this information into neural signals that your brain can interpret. It is similar to how bats navigate, but much more sophisticated. G continued walking around his room, experiencing it in a whole new way. The outlines of objects became clearer in his mind. He could sense the shape of his bed, the position of his books on the shelf, even the small clock on his desk. This is incredible, G whispered. This is only the beginning, Arya told him. The system will improve as it learns your brain patterns. By midday, you will experience much more detail. Just then, there was a knock at G's door. G, are you awake? Breakfast is ready, called Subin. Yes, I'm coming, G answered. Then more quietly, he asked Arya, Can I tell others about you? That decision is yours, Arya replied. However, Mr. Kim suggested discretion until you fully understand my capabilities. G thought for a moment. Mr. Kim had been strange but kind. Maybe he should follow this advice. Arya, can you help me appear normal? G asked. I don't want people to know anything is different yet. Of course, Arya said. I will maintain basic functionality as a mobility aid while we continue calibration. No one will notice the difference. G opened his door and found Subin waiting to help him to breakfast. Good morning, she said. How's the new cane? It's good, G said, trying to sound casual. Very light. Easy to use. That's great, Subin said. Do you need help getting to school today? I think I'll be okay, G told her. But thank you. At breakfast, G ate quietly. The cane, Arya, rested against his chair. No one else seemed to notice anything unusual about it. But for G, the world was already changing. He could sense where each person sat at the table. He could tell when someone reached for the rice bowl or poured a drink. After breakfast, G got ready for school. As he walked with Arya, the sensations grew stronger and clearer. The device sent constant streams of information to his brain. Streets, buildings, people. All took shape in G's mind in ways he had never experienced before. By the time G reached school, Arya had improved even more. Now G could sense not just the shapes of people but also their movements. He could tell when someone was about to bump into him before it happened. He could navigate the crowded hallways with ease. This is amazing, G thought, knowing Arya could hear him. Your brain is adapting quickly, Arya responded in his mind. Most humans take days to adjust. You have done it in hours. In class, G discovered that Arya could do much more than help him navigate. When the teacher wrote on the board, Arya could read it and send the information directly to G's mind. The equation is x2 plus 7nx plus 12 0. Arya told him when the math teacher wrote a problem for the class. Can you help me solve it? G thought, I can, Arya replied. But I sense you already know how. Would you like me to confirm your answer or let you work it independently? G smiled. Arya wasn't just helping him see, it was respecting his abilities. I'll solve it, G thought. But thank you. As the day went on, Arya's capabilities grew more impressive. By lunchtime, G could sense colors, not see them the way people with sight did, but sense them as different vibrations or tones in his mind. The sky is blue today, Arya informed him as he sat in the courtyard. Tree leaves are green. Your uniform is navy blue. G had been told these things before, but now he could actually sense the differences. It was like hearing different musical notes for each color. During science class, G's favorite subject, Arya, helped him see the diagrams in the textbook. For the first time, G understood what a cell looked like, what the solar system looked like, what the structure of an atom looked like. This is how everyone else sees the world? G asked Arya silently. Not exactly, Arya replied. What you are experiencing is a translation. It is different from human vision but provides similar information. In some ways, you are receiving more data than typical human sight allows. After school, G took a different route home. He wanted to test Arya's abilities. He walked through the park, a place he usually avoided because it was hard to navigate without clear paths. There are 23 trees in this section of the park, Arya told him. A small pond is 30 meters ahead. 3 children are playing with a ball 15 meters to your right. G could sense all of this. The trees, the water, the playing children. He could even tell when a leaf fell from a tree nearby. The world had opened up to him in ways he never thought possible. Arya, G asked as he walked, who is Mr. Kim? Why did he give you to me? There was a slight pause before Arya answered. I have limited information on Mr. Kim's identity. He is a representative of a group interested in human potential. You were selected because of your resilience and positive outlook despite difficult circumstances. Selected for what? G wondered. That information will be revealed in time, Arya said. For now, my purpose is to assist you. As G approached the orphanage, he sensed Deho and his friends standing across the street. They were watching him, probably surprised to see him walking so confidently without his old cane. The 3 boys who broke your cane are observing you, Arya informed him. Their heart rates and body temperatures suggest they are confused by your behavior. G smiled. He could almost feel their confusion. Yesterday they had thought they were leaving him helpless. Today he was walking better than ever. Should we confront them? Arya asked. No, G thought. There's no need. Living well is the best response. G walked past them, head high, tapping Arya lightly on the ground as if it were just an ordinary cane. He could sense Deho's mouth open as if to say something, then close again. For once, the bully had nothing to say. Back at the orphanage, G went to his room and closed the door. He had so many questions for Arya. What else can you do? He asked the device. What else can I learn to sense? My capabilities are extensive, Arya replied. As your brain continues to adapt, you will be able to sense more details. Eventually, you will be able to sense electromagnetic fields, infrared radiation, and even access information networks. Information networks? Like the internet? Yes, Arya said, though the connection will be more direct than what you are familiar with. G sat on his bed trying to process everything. In one day, his life had completely changed. He was no longer just a blind orphan. He was something else, something new. Arya, G said after a while. Mr. Kim said 3 words to remember. Humanity deserves better. What does that mean? Those words have multiple layers of meaning, Arya explained. On one level, they express Mr. Kim's belief that humans should not treat each other cruelly as those boys treated you. On another level, they are an activation phrase that identifies you to others like Mr. Kim. There are others like him? Yes, Mr. Kim is not alone. There are others watching Earth. 2 weeks passed and G's life changed completely. Each day with Arya brought new abilities and revelations. The device had become far more than a replacement for his broken cane. It had become a window to a world G never knew existed. On this bright morning, G sat on a bench in the school courtyard before classes began. His fingers rested lightly on Arya, which looked like an ordinary metal cane to anyone watching. But G knew better. Arya, G thought. Can you tell me more about the Galactic Observation Council? By now, G had learned to communicate with Arya silently. The neural connection between them had grown stronger, allowing them to share thoughts without G speaking aloud. The Council is a collective of advanced civilizations, Arya explained in G's mind. They study developing worlds to determine their readiness for contact and inclusion in the wider galactic community. And Earth is one of these developing worlds? G asked. Yes. Earth has been observed for several thousand years. Humans have great potential but also concerning tendencies. G thought about this. You mean like war? Pollution? Cruelty? Precisely, Arya confirmed. Many species go through similar phases of development. Some overcome these challenges. Others destroy themselves before reaching maturity. And which path is Earth on? She wondered. Arya was quiet for a moment before responding. That is uncertain. Earth is at a critical juncture. The decisions made in the next few decades will likely determine humanity's fate. G sensed someone approaching. Thanks to Arya, he could tell it was Subin before she even spoke. G, she called. There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. Good morning, Subin, G said with a smile. Is everything okay? Yes, but Mrs. Song asked me to find you. There's a visitor at the orphanage asking for you. She said you should come right away. G felt a flutter of excitement. Could it be Mr. Kim? Did they say who it was? No, just that it's important, Subin replied. Mrs. Song already told the school you'd be missing morning classes. I better go then, G said, standing up. Thanks for telling me. As G walked toward the orphanage, he asked Arya, Can you sense who might be waiting for me? I cannot scan at that distance, Arya replied. However, based on recent developments, it is 78% probable that the visitor is connected to the Galactic Observation Council. G walked faster. In the 2 weeks since receiving Arya, he had learned so much about the universe. Arya had taught him about stars and planets far beyond Earth, about civilizations thousands of years more advanced than humans, about technologies that seemed like magic. But he still had many questions about why he, a blind orphan from Seoul, had been chosen. When G arrived at the orphanage, Mrs. Song was waiting at the door. G, there you are, she said, sounding relieved. There's a woman here to see you. She says she's from the National Institute for the Blind, but... Mrs. Song lowered her voice. Something seems odd about her. She knew about your new cane. It's okay, Mrs. Song, G assured her. I'll talk to her. Mrs. Song led G to the small meeting room where visitors were received. As they approached, Arya sent a silent alert to G's mind. Detected non-human biological signature, Arya informed him, similar to Mr. Kim's pattern. Disguised as human female, approximately 30 years old in appearance. G nodded slightly, prepared now. Mrs. Song opened the door. G is here, she announced. I'll leave you to talk, but I'll be just down the hall if needed. Thank you for your consideration, said a gentle voice. Sounded human, but thanks to Arya, G could detect subtle differences in the speech pattern. The door closed and G was alone with the visitor. Hello, Han-ji, the woman said. My name is Ms. Yoon, but that is just for public purposes. You can call me Observer Tella. G bowed slightly. It's nice to meet you. Are you from the same place as Mr. Kim? Tella laughed softly. Yes, though place is a limited concept in this context. Mr. Kim and I serve the same purpose. I am here to continue what he started. G sat down across from her. With Arya's help, he could sense her form. She appeared human, but there were differences in her energy signature, in the way she moved. Too perfect, too fluid. I have many questions, G said. I'm sure you do, Tella replied, and I am here to provide some answers. But first, how are you adjusting to Arya? Very well, G said proudly. We work together perfectly. That is excellent news, Tella said. Most recipients take months to fully adapt. You have done it in weeks. This confirms our assessment of your potential. What potential? Why me? G asked, getting to his most pressing question. Tella was quiet for a moment, as if considering how much to reveal. Finally, she spoke. The Council has been observing Earth for a very long time. For centuries, we debated whether humans were ready for contact. Many argued that humans were too violent, too selfish, too short-sighted to join the galactic community. And what did you think? G asked. I was undecided, Tella admitted. Humans have great capacity for both creation and destruction, for both kindness and cruelty. It is hard to predict which path your species will ultimately choose. G nodded, thinking of Daeho and his friends, then thinking of people like Mr. Park who had been so kind to him. So to help us decide, Tella continued, we began looking for individuals who represented the best of humanity. People who, despite suffering hardships, maintained compassion and optimism. People who could potentially bridge the gap between humans and the wider universe. People like me? G asked, surprised. Yes, Tella confirmed. You were identified as a potential candidate years ago. Your situation was optimal for our purposes. You had experienced abandonment and disability, yet maintained a positive outlook. You excelled academically despite barriers. And most importantly, you showed no signs of bitterness or cruelty toward others. So you were watching me? For how long? Since you were 12, Tella said. When you showed exceptional kindness to a new orphan who had been cruel to you, G remembered. A boy named Hyun had arrived at the orphanage 5 years ago. He had been angry at the world and had taken it out on G, calling him names and even hiding his things. But G had understood the boy's pain and had befriended him anyway. Now Hyun was one of his closest friends. "We weren't sure if you were ready yet," Tella continued. "The plan was to wait until you were older. But then the incident with the bullies happened, and Mr. Kim decided to help me," G finished. "Yes," Tella said. "He saw an opportunity to test you. Would the cruelty of those boys finally break your spirit? When it didn't, when you remained calm and practical even in distress, he decided to accelerate our timeline." G thought about that rainy day 2 weeks ago. It felt like a lifetime had passed since then. "But what am I supposed to do?" G asked. "What does the council want from me?" "For now, learn," Tella said simply. "Adapt to area. Understand the capabilities you now have. In time, you will serve as a bridge, an unofficial ambassador between humanity and the council." "But I'm just a high school student," G protested. "How can I be an ambassador?" "You won't be alone," Tella assured him. "There are others like you around the world. People who have been chosen for their unique qualities. Together you will help guide humanity toward a better path." G's mind was racing. Others like him? A network of people with devices like Arya. Arya, G thought, is this true? Are there others? Yes, Arya confirmed in his mind. There are currently 1,273 individuals across Earth with neural interface technology, similar to mine. Each is tailored to the specific needs and capabilities of its user. And the 3 words Mr. Kim told me to remember? G asked Tella. Humanity deserves better. What do they mean? They are both a belief and a code, Tella explained. A belief that despite humanity's flaws, your species deserves a chance to join the wider galactic community. And a code that identifies you to other council representatives and ambassadors. If you ever meet someone and sense they might be connected to us, say those words. If they respond with "the stars await," you will know they are part of our network. G nodded, taking it all in. It was so much to process. There is another reason I came today, Tella said. Arya has more capabilities than you have yet discovered. It's time to activate them. More capabilities? G asked, curious and excited. Like what? Arya can connect to our information network, Tella explained. Think of it as an internet that spans the galaxy. Through it, you can learn about other worlds, other species, and technologies beyond human development. That sounds amazing, G said. It is, Tella agreed. But it comes with responsibility. The knowledge must be used wisely. You cannot share everything you learn. Some information would be dangerous in the wrong hands or misunderstood by those not ready to receive it. G understood. It was like how teachers didn't teach college-level physics to kindergarten students. Some knowledge required preparation. I understand, G said. I'll be careful. I know you will, Tella said. There was warmth in her voice. Now hold Arya with both hands and think the phrase, "Open the stars." G did as instructed, gripping Arya firmly and thinking, "Open the stars." Immediately, he felt a change. Arya warmed in his hands and a new presence seemed to fill his mind. It was as if a door had opened, revealing a vast library of knowledge. Connection established, Arya announced in his mind. Galactic Information Network now accessible. Level 1 clearance granted. Suddenly, G could sense so much more. Information flowed into his mind. 6 months had passed since G received Arya. Summer had given way to fall, and now winter was approaching. The air was crisp and cool as G walked through the city streets on a Saturday morning. He no longer needed to tap Arya on the ground like a cane. The device, which looked like an ordinary metal rod to others, now simply rested in G's hand. Through their neural connection, Arya provided G with a complete awareness of his surroundings. G could sense everything, the buildings, the people, the cars, even birds flying overhead. But Arya gave G far more than just a replacement for sight. In the past 6 months, G had learned more than most people learn in years. Through the Galactic Information Network, he had studied sciences beyond Earth's knowledge, histories of civilizations millions of years old, and technologies that humans wouldn't discover for centuries. G. Arya's voice said in his mind. There is an alert from the network. What is it? G thought back. Another ambassador is nearby. She has sensed your presence and wishes to meet. G felt a surge of excitement. Although Tella had told him there were others like him around the world, he had never met another human ambassador before. Where? G asked. The coffee shop across the street, Arya directed. Her name is Min. She has been an ambassador for 3 years. G crossed the street, sensing the woman inside the coffee shop before he even entered. Thanks to Arya, he could tell she was sitting alone by the window, a similar device resting against her chair. The bell jingled as G entered the shop. He walked directly to her table. "Humanity deserves better," G said quietly, using the code phrase Tella had taught him. The woman smiled. "The stars await," she replied. "Please sit down, Hanji." G took the seat across from her. Through Arya, he could sense that Min was in her early 20s with long hair tied back and a calm, confident presence. "It's nice to finally meet another ambassador," G said. "Arya has told me there are over 1,000 of us." 1,342 now, Min corrected with a smile. "The network grows each month. I've been tracking your progress, G. You've adapted to the interface faster than almost anyone." G felt a sense of pride at her words. "I still have a lot to learn." "We all do," Min said. "I've been connected for 3 years and I discover new things every day." She sipped her coffee. "But that's not why I wanted to meet you today." "Why did you?" G asked. Min leaned forward slightly. "Because it's time for your first real task as an ambassador. The Council has been monitoring a situation that requires your specific abilities." G felt nervous but excited. "What kind of situation?" "There's a research facility on the outskirts of Seoul," Min explained. "Scientists there are experimenting with particle acceleration. They don't realize it. But their latest test could create a cascade reaction with dangerous consequences." "Dangerous how?" G asked. "The reaction could create a localized disruption in space-time," Min said. "Nothing apocalyptic, but it could affect an area of about 3 city blocks. Many people could be hurt." G took a deep breath. "What can I do? I'm just a high school student. They won't listen to me." "You don't need them to listen," Min said. "You just need access to their main computer system for 3 minutes. Arya can do the rest." "You want me to break into a research facility?" G asked, alarmed. Min laughed softly. "No, nothing so dramatic. The facility is having an open house today. They're trying to get public support for their funding. Anyone can attend. You just need to find a way to get close to their central computer system." G thought about it. It seemed simple enough, but he was still unsure. "Isn't this interfering?" "I thought the Council just observed." "The Council observes and guides," Min corrected. "Direct interference is rare, but sometimes necessary when a species might unintentionally harm itself through ignorance rather than choice. In this case, the scientists simply don't have the knowledge to understand what they're about to do. We're just helping them avoid a mistake." G nodded, understanding the distinction. "Okay, what do I need to do?" For the next 15 minutes, Min explained the plan. G would visit the facility as part of the open house. Using Arya's abilities, he would locate the central computer system. Then he would create a distraction that would allow him access to the computer room for a few minutes. Arya would connect to the system and make subtle modifications to their test parameters. Nothing that would stop their research, just enough to prevent the dangerous reaction. "Do you think you can do this?" Min asked when she had finished explaining. "Yes," G said with more confidence than he felt. "When is the open house?" "It starts in 1 hour," Min told him. "I'll come with you, but I'll need to stay in the background. You'll be on your own once inside." "I understand," G said. He had grown used to navigating the world alone. With Arya's help, he could do things most sighted people couldn't. An hour later, G and Min arrived at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute. The facility was a large modern building on the outskirts of the city. A sign announced the open house and a steady stream of visitors was entering the main doors. "Remember," Min said quietly as they approached, "you don't need to explain or justify anything. Just get to the computer room, let Arya do its work, and leave. If anyone questions why a blind teenager is at a particle physics open house, just say you're interested in science." "I am interested in science," G pointed out with a smile. "Even better," Min said. "I'll be nearby if you need help. Just think my name and I'll hear you through the network." G nodded and walked toward the entrance. As he entered the facility, Arya began mapping the building's layout. "Main computer room is on the 3rd floor, north wing," Arya informed him. "Security is minimal due to the open house, but the computer room itself is restricted." "How do I get in?" she asked silently. "I am scanning for options," Arya replied. "Continue with the tour while I work." G joined a group being led by a young scientist who was explaining the facility's work in simple terms for the public. As they walked, Arya continued to analyze the building's security systems and personnel patterns. "I have a plan," Arya announced after a few minutes. "There is a maintenance access panel near the computer room. It is used for ventilation system repairs. The panel is large enough for you to crawl through." "You want me to crawl through an air duct?" G asked, surprised. "It is a clean, wide maintenance tunnel," Arya clarified, "and it will only be for a short distance. It is the least monitored approach." G sighed internally, but agreed. As the tour moved to the third floor, G gradually fell behind the group. When they turned a corner, he slipped down a side hallway that Arya directed him to. "The maintenance panel is ahead. On the left wall," Arya guided. G found the panel and with Arya's help removed it quietly. The space behind it was dusty, but, as Arya had promised, wide enough for him to crawl through. G entered the passage and replaced the panel behind him. "Follow the tunnel forward for 12 meters, Arya directed. "Then take the right fork." G crawled through the dusty space, grateful that he could see through Arya's sensory system. A truly blind person would have had a much harder time navigating this dark tunnel. After a short crawl, G reached another panel. "The computer room is on the other side," Arya informed him. "There are 2 technicians inside. We need to create a distraction to clear the room." "How?" G asked. "I can trigger a minor alert in the building's environmental system," Arya suggested. "It would indicate a problem in another area requiring the technicians to investigate." "Do it," G agreed. A moment later, an alarm sounded somewhere in the distance. G heard the technicians in the computer room responding. "Temperature fluctuation in Lab 7, one said. "We better check it out." "Probably just a sensor glitch again," the other replied. "But we can't ignore it." G heard the door open and close as the technicians left. "Now," Arya urged. G pushed open the panel and slipped into the computer room. It was filled with humming machines and blinking lights. Through Arya, G could sense every detail of the technology around him. "The main terminal is straight ahead," Arya guided him. "Place me against the central processing unit." G found the main computer and pressed Arya against it. The metal rod vibrated slightly as it connected to the system. "Establishing connection," Arya reported. "Accessing test parameters for tomorrow's experiment. This will take approximately 2 minutes and 47 seconds. G stood nervously by the computer, aware that the technicians could return at any moment. Through Arya, he monitored the hallway outside, ready to hide if anyone approached. "Parameters modified," Arya announced after what felt like a very long time. "The test will now proceed safely. The changes are subtle enough that they will attribute any unexpected results to normal experimental variables." "Good," G thought. "Let's get out of here before—" The door handle turned. Someone was coming back. "Hide," Arya commanded urgently. G looked around frantically. There was a space between 2 server racks, barely big enough for a person. He squeezed into it just as the door opened. One of the technicians entered, muttering to himself about false alarms. He went to the main computer, the same one G had just been standing at, and typed something. G held his breath, hoping the man wouldn't notice anything unusual. After what seemed like an eternity, the technician finished whatever he was doing and left the room.